Some more information about this earthquake in Mexico. Dr. Hutton, what can you tell us?
Well, we just have basic information at the moment. We know that the magnitude was 7.6, and we know that it was located about 100 miles southwest of Oaxaca, and that it was very shallow, about 11 miles below the surface.
Now,
and, we know there was no tsunami warning issued, which is good, and I'm looking for... there we go. A map which would indicate the likely areas that could be affected strongly. And it looks like there is an area around the epicenter of the earthquake where the intensity could be in the 7 range, which is not the same as the Richter scale. It's an actual perception level, but that's very strong.
That is very strong, Dr. Hutton. And we have not heard of any damage or injuries. How do you explain that with an earthquake this strong in the 7s?
Well, you have probably got reports from Acapulco and Oaxaca and Mexico City, which are not particularly close. Mm-hmm. We need to wait a while for maybe the power or the phones to come back up in the main area so we could get reports from those areas.
Dr. Hutton, there's always so much work to find a way and to research earthquakes and to find a way to get an early warning system out. And we've talked with several people here who talked of a siren that they were alerted about 10 seconds before they began to feel the earthquake. What kind of system is in place in Mexico as an early warning system for earthquakes? What were they likely experiencing?
Well, what they do is they tie into the seismic network, which covers all of Mexico, and it determines the location of the earthquake, and if it's large enough, it sets off an alarm in Mexico City, possibly in other towns as well. So if the quake is not close to those areas, there can be significant amount of warning. And we are working on a system like that here in the U.S. It is in an experimental stage right now.
Right. I can tell you that the people we were talking to were in Acapulco, and that makes perfect sense as to what you were saying in that that is, I'm trying to remember exactly how far away from Acapulco. It was 60 or 70 miles, 90 miles from the epicenter, and 100 miles from Mexico City. So it seems like, so basically you're saying this warning system is kind of tracking the seismic activity. As it moves further and further away, you'll have more warning.
Yes, it can give you a warning if you're far away. If you're right on top of the earthquake, then the earthquake itself is your only warning.
Right.
Were you able to determine yet what fault this earthquake fell on?
Well, we're still discussing that, but there is a major fault off the coast of Mexico called the subduction zone, where an ocean plate is being shoved down underneath the coast of Mexico. And it's possible that it could be on that fault, or it could be on another one above that.
Well, Dr. Hutton, you said something a moment ago that I just want to reiterate. The President, President Calderon, has said no serious damage nor injuries, but you're saying let's hold off on that and let's make sure we're getting reports from closer to the epicenter as opposed to the major metropolitan areas.
Well, I'm sure what they said applies to the major areas, the cities like Oaxaca and Acapulco and Mexico City. We don't, I think, at this point know what happened at the epicenter of the quake itself.
All right. Dr. Kate Hutton from Caltech, thank you so much for joining us here on Eyewitness News. And we will continue to follow this earthquake, a 7.6 magnitude quake.